I see. The other day, I came across this tweet. It said something like, "Has self-deletion ever crossed your mind?" Now, we all know what self-deletion is. The act of self-deleting, taking yourself to the promised land alone by your own means. No higher calling, just you. You said, "Nah, I want to go today," and you decided to do it. Now I'm playing, but in all seriousness, though, I don't respect self-deletion. I'm not really sure if I can say the actual word, but I don't respect it. It's a very serious topic. Self-deletion is a very serious topic. It's a mental illness, to say the least. I feel like people that do it, they weren't thinking straight. Because how do you take matters into your own hands and you decide today is the day I want to go, I want to ascend. You want to go to the promised land yourself. You want to take yourself there by yourself. That's not how it works, boy. Now, when I was younger, yeah, I grew up Christian. So when I was younger, anytime I heard stories about people taking their own lives, taking matters into their own hands, I used to just think that damn, those guys are in hell. Like I used to think they went to hell straight up. That was because in the Bible it said it's a sin to take away, God's creation and all that. So I used to just like, feel bad that damn this guy went to hell and I was so scared. I was like, how do you yourself get the courage to drink poison or jump down a skyscraper or buy a gun and like I was like damn, that's like the scariest thing ever. So I was always like damn, people that do that, damn, that's scary. That was how I always imagined it. But as I grew older, I started looking at it as, and this might sound harsh, but this is very stupid, especially the people that had good lives. You hear of stories of guys who, loving parents, they were doing good in school. They had everything you could ever want in life, and yet they were still suffering mentally and decided to take their lives. There was this particular incident that happened to one guy. Like he wasn't in our school, but a lot of people in where my school they knew him. So when he took matters into his own hands, everybody was heartbroken and posts started flying around, right? Then I remember one person, she wrote, I remember what she said something about him being strong and not to laugh or anything like that, but I felt very irritated when I read out like what the fuck? What do you mean he was strong? That guy wasn't strong. I thought he was a coward. He was a weak coward. Now not to speak ill of people that have long gone, but he was weak and he was a coward. That is why he decided to take his because he had everything. He had the loving parents, the good grades, the friends, he had that. But I remember that the reason why he did it, no one knew the reason, but it was something about him being depressed. And I feel like if you're depressed, you gotta get help. But like, why are you depressed? Like, as a Nigerian, yeah, and depression wasn't really, it's never really seen as this thing. Like, it's not real. Like, why are you depressed? Like, what's making you depressed? That's how it was always pictured as. Like, what has life shown you that you're depressed? The country is already hard already, like, and we were taught to endure. Like, if there's ever a chance for a group of people or a nation to ever have words, like sayings, mottos, things like that, I feel like Nigerians all should be we endure. That is it, we endure. That's our words, because the shaggy now we've gone through in that country, it's really crazy, and we really endure. So things like depression, mental health, those things we always seen as rich people do. And I know it might sound very, crazy, but those things were seen as things for rich people. The rich people that talk to their feelings to like a therapist, the rich people that do that. In Nigeria, if you're ever feeling down, why are you down? Why are you feeling down? What happened to you? Did you lose your leg? Did you lose your family? You got young guys that are feeling down because their girl left them. Are you stupid? What? Your girl left you and now you're feeling down. Nah, come on, man. You gotta stand up. You gotta sit up. Because in general, life is very hard for a lot of people in this world. Like a lot of people are going through things you can't even think of. Things that your wildest imagination couldn't even bring to you if you had the chance. Like there is literally so much pain and suffering going on to so many people in this world. Like it's so crazy. Like, and the fact that you you are able to, you have a warm bed over your head. What? You have a warm roof over your head. You have warm food to eat. You might not be the richest of folks. You might not be the most powerful, but at least you are living. You're surviving, and every day today you make things count. I feel like it's just the coward's way out. Unless maybe you actually want to do it and you know leave some resources for the rest of us. So I get that, but I just feel like it's something you should really seek help before you make any rash decisions about your life. But that's all. Later.